Hey, what's up, world? It's your boy G Shrimp, everybody, faith, baby daddy, voice of the street, man. And today we go be in, we go be in New York with it, y'all. We go be listening to a little bit of the P. Diddy trial, y'all. So, hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel, and, let's jump right into it. You know what I was thinking, y'all, and it's really something you really need to just think about is how did Diddy get so big? Now I ain't talking about music. I'm talking about how did he get so big where he became the gatekeeper and decides who or who will not make it in Hollywood. You know what I mean? I can see he was a rap mogul, but the music industry should have been separate. He wasn't even in that world like that. Now he hosted these parties. But see, what we are learning is Hollywood is a well-oiled machine, y'all, and it ain't about talent at all. It's about submission. What you real and what you won't do. And they like to keep it secret. This is some next level diabolical shit, y'all. You know, I'm talking about they went deep, man. They say some of them parties, you know, they like sex rituals and they dealing blood sacrifices and certain things like that. You know, demonic forces, and I ain't gonna say they go kill somebody right there, but they be sipping a little blood. It's a lot of weird shit you can't even describe. You know, they own that, right? But I'm saying, when did Diddy become part of that world, right? And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? Diddy became part of that world when he started fucking with Clyde Davis. Clyde Davis is a heavy hitter. This the music industry, y'all. But he connected to that world, I guess. And he had to tell them, now Diddy is a pleaser. He'll do what y'all want him to do. And he can rally in all the other people. So basically, they use Puff Daddy, y'all, to get the celebrities to come in. And they had him throw these big parties and have you thinking it's an honor to be there, you know. And then they got 2-3 different type of parties, y'all. They got the all-white party and everybody there having the fun, right? And then they got some more where people have black on and they come. First thing they do is take your phone. No phones at the Diddy party, y'all. And they make it seem like, okay, nobody got no phones. Do what you do. Let your hair down. You could be you. This is what they say. You can be you. So if you was a gay motherfucker in the closet, you can come out the closet here. We ain't gonna tell nobody. Ain't nothing but our cameras rolling, you know. And then they got all this AI shit going on, y'all. When you hearing things about the Diddy trial, you know, they really need to stop it. They act like what they said. They said Ice Cube came and spoke at the Diddy trial. That's bullshit. Then I just sent another video where they said Wesley Snipes came and he spoke, and who, not Wesley Snipes, the other guy, they said it was Eddie Murphy came. Listen, there's no way you can walk in a federal courtroom and get on the witness stand if you ain't on that list. You hear me, y'all? I'm going to say it again. There's no way you could walk into a federal courtroom and get on that stand unless you on that list. You had to be subpoenaed or you agreed to come through your lawyers. But ain't no way you can just say, hey, I'm finna go to the Diddy trial, man. I just want to talk. What the fuck I got to say? They don't know what you go say, so they go let you just come talk? But leave it up to AI and the world. They fool people, and this clickbait is so serious. Sometimes you don't even know it's clickbait. You know what I mean? You don't even know it's clickbait. A lot of clickbait I've been running into lately, like you interested in some of these people and who getting out and things like that. They said, YNW Melly is finally free. He got home. What the people reaction are to him being free. Then you watch the whole video and they talking about the appeal and this and that. They ain't let him out yet. And you like, this motherfucker. You should be able to strike that channel for lying. You know what I mean? That's a damn lie. It's misleading. You know what I mean? It's really misleading. But hey, people do that because they got big enough channels and you know they make money off that, y'all. You know, they make money off that. Now listen to some of this here, y'all.
Hi, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Incredibly graphic testimony today in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. And we have to warn you, some of what you hear may be disturbing. The third alleged victim, who goes by the pseudonym Jane, was back on the witness stand for her first full day of testimony. The prosecutor played an audio recording for the jury of a hotel night with a male prostitute Jane identified as Dawn. On the recording, Jane and Dawn are looking for a condom, but Combs didn't allow it and can be heard saying, quote, "You're taking that expletive." Jane testified, quote, "I just didn't want to disappoint my lover. He would be unhappy and wouldn't be satisfied with me." Jane went on to tearfully tell the jury about her birthday in 2023 when she said she was made to have sex with 3 different men in addition to Combs. The prosecutor asked, "Why?" Jane responded, "I don't know. It had become so routine," and added that she turned robotic. Jane told the jury that after a while, Combs didn't have to directly ask her for these hotel nights. She testified, "I knew it was to be expected." Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, he faces the possibility of life in prison. Coming up, we have a former SDNY district court judge to give us some insight on what it's like to be in charge of such a high-profile case. Plus, we're taking you inside a courtroom identical to the one in this trial, so you can get a better sense of where this is all playing out. But we begin with ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Kotursky live outside the federal courthouse here in Manhattan. And Aaron, we heard from Jane today. What did she tell the jury?
This was a deeply unsettling day, Eva, because Jane outlined the sex that she said she was made to have with at least 11 different men. She saw photos of all of those men. She said she couldn't remember all their names, but she knew them as Leo or Michael or Paul. Paul, she said, was Sean Combs' trainer. And she said that she was made to have sex with these men in Turks and Caicos, in New York, in Los Angeles, in Miami. And she said that it became so routine that she just became robotic. She knew what she had to wear. She knew that the baby oil would get all over her feet, make them sticky. She'd be unsteady. She talked about the soreness in her back from being made to be in one position all the time, performing oral sex at Sean Combs' direction. She remembered the infections that she got and how she was not allowed ample time to heal before the next hotel night. And even the jury saw some of her anguished text messages telling Sean Combs that she couldn't do it anymore. And the jury heard his response in a voice note, his voice booming throughout the courtroom, where the response seemed unsympathetic, calling her crazy.
What was she like on the stand, Aaron?
She sits there and is almost meek. She's not a meek-looking person. She's a presence. Her hair swept to one side. She was in sort of a magenta or more maroon, I guess, skirt suit. But her voice was so soft, and for much of her testimony, she was sobbing audibly. She needed to pause to dab her eyes. Her sniffles were right into the microphone, so they were quite loud and really punctuated the difficulty of her testimony.
The jurors were shown photos of Jane with various men during those hotel nights. How did they react to seeing those pictures?
This wasn't the first sexually explicit material that the jury had seen, but you couldn't help.
Now, check this out. She did all that shit to please this nigga. Now, I know you got a little money, but that's really some freaky, weird shit where you gonna let 3 men fuck your woman before you do. And really because he got off on watching it, y'all, and doing that. And she really was trying to please him. You know, to the point where she like, okay, I know I'm gonna have to fuck 3 niggas, tonight. I'm gonna do these 2 real quick and I can take my time with the last one, and then Combs might join in or he might not. He over there pleasuring himself and doing whatever the fuck he doing. But I'm saying this, y'all. They making him look bad and they talking about this, right? But none of this got nothing to do with no RICO case, y'all. You know what I mean? None of this got nothing to do with sex trafficking. Them people was moving on their own voluntarily. So they got him on here. They smearing his name, making him look bad. But they not really proving their case. I'm going to tell you what it's going to boil down to is they going to have to charge Puffy with them damn machine guns he got caught with, y'all. Because all this other shit about all the bitches he fucked and everything, they ain't said he raped now one. Yet. Not nan. Treat them like sluts? Yeah. Treat them like hoes? Have no love? Yeah, he did all that. And Combs, Puff Daddy was one of them people, egotistical motherfuckers that like to belittle people, y'all. And like to see a man suck his dick for money. Like it's nothing like seeing what a person would do for some money. And here it is, a guy might want to borrow 20,000 here. Well, you just suck this dick and you go get the bag. And he'll sit there and do that, and then I guess he hit him. That's what they said the guy from Family Matters was doing. Fat ass Lorenzo, whatever his damn name is. And that's what he was doing, allegedly, I'm like, wow. Then he had T.D. Jakes in there and a lot of other people. I'm like, it's for entertainment, but it's grossing the people in the courtroom out. It's really grossing them out. And they got to sit through that. I want to know how long is y'all going to do this. Because with all the people that came through his party, y'all could be doing this shit for a year or more. You thought Young Thug trial was a little long. Shit. This one here might even be longer, y'all. And Puff can't do nothing but to fight, y'all. Can't do nothing but to fight. And I'm like, wow, this is... Man, we are really going through some shit in this world, y'all. Society is really going bad. I'm talking about really bad. I done seen kids, y'all, teenagers. This one guy from Chicago, y'all, had his mother killed. He was a rapper, an inspiring rapper, right? Had his mother killed for her insurance money. Now he was the only child, y'all. She was doing very well. She owned a beauty salon. She had a will, money in the bank and everything. She gave him everything. He had a car and everything. He calls her at 2 in the morning, Ma, I need some money. I'm finna come over this. She said, okay, baby, come on. That's how much she loved him. He done woke up at 2 in the morning. She like, okay, baby, come on. She gets up and get ready to go to the door. He sends somebody else to the door. His partner, and I think it was a woman with him, right? They goes to the door. When she come to the door, they attack her. And try to kill her. They did kill her. Her boyfriend come downstairs and try to help her, but it was a little too late. So he ended up fighting with one of them, and they was trying to get out the house now because they had already put the woman down. She was dead, right? So they fled, and eventually they got caught. When they got caught, they told on his ass. And they didn't get caught right away, y'all. It was about 4-5 months before they caught on to him. The way they caught on to him, y'all, people started noticing how he was moving. He was so nonchalant at the funeral, wasn't crying, went and bought him a car right away. Going through money, he had access to the bank account, so he got that money right away. And then he's got the insurance money and this and that, and he just splurging now. He got one car, then you got another one, and he's stunting, making videos and playing with the money. And I'm like, damn, boy, you killed your mama, man. Really? These kids ain't got no love in their fucking heart, man. How you go kill your damn mama? A lot of people got mamas that ain't shit. They ain't killed them. I'm like, wow, boy, this is a lot. This is a lot. But yeah, he did that to his own mama, y'all. Let's listen to a little bit more of this, see what else they're talking about.
But be almost heartbroken for what she said she was put through. And I think that showed on some of the jurors' faces as she talked about the sheer repetitiveness and how she was made to dress and what she was made to do each and every time. But as the afternoon wore on, I think the jury, I'm not sure they became inured, but their reaction, they listened, but they did not show as much of a visual reaction, especially when there were these lengthy text exchanges that Jane was made to read. And her notes, before she would text Sean Combs, she said she would gather her thoughts by taking notes on her phone, and prosecutors made her read those as if to corroborate her feelings.
Jane also discussed a hotel night that happened in July 2024. Why is that timeline detail important here?
There was one in July 2024. She also said the last one she remembered was in August 2024. And so that shows that just weeks before his arrest in September 2024, Sean Combs was engaging in the kind of behavior for which he was under a federal investigation. And Jane said it persisted throughout their 3-year relationship, such that 90% of the time they were together, she was involved in having sex with other men.
What was Combs' reaction to all of this today?
He was listening intently and following along with glasses on to read some of the text messages, hers and his. And of course, he listened to his own voice as it echoed around the courtroom. The voice note messages that he left her, saying that he didn't want to do this with her anymore, saying that she was being dramatic or confronting him about sex. But Jane also talked about how Sean Combs paid for her teeth, new veneers, because he didn't like her teeth, and paid her $10,000 a month rent, which she said he seemed to hover over her and always brought it up so that she was reminded that he was paying the rent. It made her feel obligated, she said, to perform these hotel nights. And at one point, Combs kind of winced a little bit. Remember, though, he's not supposed to show facial expressions because the judge said that could get him kicked out of court.
Aaron Kaczorski for us there at the courthouse. Aaron, thank you so much. And here now to break down the testimony from
paying her rent $10,000 a month.
We heard from Jane on the stand.
She's staying somewhere nice. But what you getting put in your pocket, bitch? You paying $10,000 a month?
That Sean Combs is supposedly still paying that $10,000
still paying
a month. But there were other things where she would talk about the sexual abuse and as well as these debaucherous nights or hotel nights, because she doesn't refer to them as freak-offs. And you would get to the point where she would be told to have sexual intercourse with a male escort, and she said that, well, I didn't want to do it because he wasn't attractive, and then go into a room with Sean Combs, and there would be a conversation, and he would look disappointed, but ultimately would say that person can go, only to get another person to come in. And so for me, I was kind of two minds. One, Sean Combs, at least in this instance, is not showing the violence and aggression that we saw in Cassie's testimony. But here he's still saying, well, it's still going to happen, just not with the person that you're choosing. I think both sides are going to be able to use that fact however they want to in terms of benefiting their case. It's going to be very interesting when cross-examination comes up on those points.
Yeah,
we've also heard testimony about drugs in this case. Jane talked about it today. How does what we heard from her play into the charges here?
Thank you.
I know
That's
a lot of the
what I
time
want to
we're
know.
talking about the freak-offs, the hotel nights, the debauchery, whatever you want to call it. And that's a big part of the RICO conspiracy. But there are a lot of underlying charges as well involving drug sale and drug use across state lines that if any one of those predicate acts are used in a form of trying to find Sean Combs guilty, he can be found guilty maybe not of the freak-offs, but of providing drugs and selling drugs to the people who are participating in it. So I think it's a strong point to make nonetheless.
That's what he gonna get him at, y'all.
Let's say the jury, for whatever reason, doesn't believe Cassie, Mia, and Jane.
Jane testified today, and you mentioned that he's still paying the $10,000 for her house. That money played a role in her decision to stay. Why does that matter in this case?
Because that's what the government is hanging their hat on when it comes to the sex trafficking. Don't forget, sex trafficking is through force, fraud, or coercion. The coercion, I think, is what they're attaching it to. But the numbers really played out in my mind, because my understanding is she started dating Sean Combs in 2021. There was a lease agreement that we saw that was signed on April 4th of 2023. And then months after that, there were messages about not wanting to participate in these hotel nights. I think that timeline, as well as where she might have been living with her child beforehand, the fact that she said she wanted a big home and a big yard for her child, I know is going to come up again against cross-examination and asking the question of, could there have been alternative resources for this home, and you merely just wanted to live with Sean Combs, not wanting to do something else?
So Jane also showed receipts today as well. What were these receipts for? What's the significance of them here?
All right, so when we talk about receipts, the receipts were about the repayment of some of these flights for the sex workers or the entertainers that she would put on her own car, the flight to go from Atlanta, for example, to New York, where they may be, and then making sure they were taken care of by leaving money downstairs. Sometimes she would pay it on her own directly and then get reimbursed with Sean Combs, and some of those payments and receipts show that Sean Combs is still in one way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, participating in this racketeering conspiracy.
Okay, and you mentioned this person that she was choosing and not choosing. That person she was flying back and forth was someone she told the jury that she chose. Why does that matter here?
So why it matters is because you know you're going to hear it when the defense takes a stand or has an opportunity to cross-examine Jane and say, well, you chose to do this, in the same way that we heard with Cassie as well. But here, we're going to see that she says she felt pressure to do so, that she chose these two specific workers, I think it was Cabral and another gentleman by the name of Anton, because the other ones she didn't feel safe with. She didn't know them. She figured, if I'm going to participate in this, I might as well participate with people that I know and I feel safe with. And I think getting ahead of that.
Got to be attractive and somebody you like.
Turning attacker for that was a smart move by the government.
The jury was also shown some text messages between Jane and Combs. What did those messages say?
All right, so here we have a couple of examples of the text messages here, and it really highlighted the point in one sense that she wanted to participate, and she explained those text messages saying, well, I wanted to keep him alive. I wanted to keep the intimacy going because I know that's what he wanted. Again, what he wanted, not necessarily about violence attributed to it, but also talking about she wanted the getaway. She wanted to spend time with him. He promised that. I think there might be an argument about fraud there, that he promised these getaways, promised these traveling, promised all of this, but it always got veered back into these hotel nights, these debaucheries.
Yeah, and even when you take her somewhere, y'all, it's a hotel night plan.
In a sense.
Brian, thank you so much for being here with us. And still ahead, we take you inside the courthouse, inside a courtroom identical to the one where Sean Combs is on trial.
And they got Tisha Tales up there too. She out there. They blowing her up. I seen her on Nancy Gray. I said, look at old Tisha Tales. Goddamn, getting on up there. Shout out to the YouTubers, man. Shout out to the YouTubers, man. Getting on up there, man. Getting on up there. Anyway, I just came on here to talk for a little minute, man, you know. But I really started with Puff Daddy, y'all, because I really was thinking that, you know, like, how did he get to be a gatekeeper? And then I thought about it a little more. I said, damn, started with Clyde Davis. And then, like I said, it's about submission and being able to close your mouth, y'all. And then when they was able to camouflage and get all the people to come to Puff Daddy party, That's when they started that other shit. You know what I mean? They said they had The Rock eat monkey brains. Do y'all remember the show? What's the name of that show? Was Fear Factor. When they have all that nasty shit for you to eat. Yeah. So I don't know what the hell, if they had said it before or whatever, but they had a tray up there and they said, man, you need to eat this. I'd have been like, eat what? What is that? That's monkey brain. What the fuck I need to eat that? Man, I'm just saying it'd be better for you to say yeah than no. Because they got all the directors and the other people that's watching. They got the camera there. And they watching who will go and who won't go. And they looking like, yeah, nah, G-Shrimp ain't go, y'all. Yeah, G-Shrimp, fuck him, because he ain't finna do none of that. He getting mad. Yeah, we ain't putting him in our next movie. Fuck that. But we already talked to him, so what? Just don't call him back. Just don't call him back. And by Puff being a freak, y'all, he liked it, that shit. He liked it, that. And go tell The Rock, come on, man. You big and strong. You can eat that shit. And guess what, y'all? They say The Rock ate it, too. Said The Rock ate it. I'm like, damn, well, that would explain why he in so many movies, y'all. So many movies. And you see what Cat Williams said, goddammit, about what's going on. He said all he wanted to do is make it through with making him a little money and keeping that virgin booty hole he got back there. Meaning he said he ain't finna go for none. And he put it all on P. Diddy. He said, because Puff be wanting to party. And you got to tell him no. I mean, Puff Daddy, he just a freak for real. And then with all the drugs that they had him taking, he like a robot his damn self. You know, just going. I'm like, damn, Diddy for real? So you getting down, Diddy? Did he do it or did he don't do it? Yeah, did he do it? Damn. Now I want to know what the fuck was Jay-Z doing? Him and Beyonce. They was at the freak offs too now, y'all. What you think they was doing? Now I remember something that the baby said, a story he told, right? And he didn't even know that he kind of missed his cue and his beat, right? Now he at the party. This is out the hour when Diddy done put a lot of people out. So it's time to go and perform and do what you want to do. Go in whichever room you want to do. Now, Diddy and Jay-Z probably was going to hook up, which lead Beyonce to swing and do what she want to do. The baby was there. But the baby ain't been to these parties enough to know what's going on. So he there, Beyonce come over there and introduce herself. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm Beyonce. So he, come on now, girl, you know who the hell you is. And she like, okay. But that ain't why I came to, and I didn't come over here to just introduce myself. I come over here to start a conversation and to, see how this thing finna go. While this we talking wise. Because listen, Jay-Z would have never let her approach him if he wasn't cool. Because Jay-Z funny about Beyonce. He don't let just any nigga around her. He would have been like, B, bring your ass back here. You come over here and sit right here. And then they got the rumors allegedly that Jay-Z got her hooked on drugs and all this. I'm like, I don't know. But I done seen the few videos where she looked a little high, But you never know what people be on. You never know what people be on. So you can't just assume that shit. Because motherfucker could be sleepy. She could be tired. She did say she had just come off tour for a while. So She ended up having to go to the game with him. She's not interested in it, but she's sitting there just looking zoned out. She ain't really watching the game. She like, I can't wait till this motherfucker over. I'm ready to go lay down. I'm ready to go lay down, man. Yeah. Go lay down. Ain't that something, man? Well, sometimes when you misread shit, y'all, I'm talking about it's crazy. I had a partner, right? He had a little niece. She wasn't no little niece. She was his niece, though. She about 22, 23. She from the west side, though. So I see her over there one day. Me and her talk. We exchanged numbers. So I pick her up. Bam. I got the van. She get in the back. And she like, damn. You pulled up like that. This bitch lit up. Got a bed and everything, you know. And you know, I'm just riding around with her, you know, shooting at shit. Just being nice. Because, you know, I'm just playing it cool for a minute. And we talking, but we making small talk, right? Man, I stopped at the gas station once. And we riding so much, I ended up stopping again. So we end up getting close to a conversation about sex or something. And I'm like, man, you ever had a threesome or something? I don't know how she asked. I think she asked me or I asked her. She said, yeah, man, I've done that all the time. I'm like, what? I said, oh, this bitch a hoe. You know what I mean? I said, I'm riding my ass. And I said, you know what, man? Get back there and take that shit off. You know what she said? Man, I've been wondering why you just riding around. I'm like, bitch, you ain't saying nothing about it either. But I'm like, I'm driving and talking to you, but she could have been said, man, park this motherfucker, right? Let's just park and chill. You know, like what the boy Chief Key say, if you just really wanted some dick, bitch, you should have said that. You want to fuck in the back of the band, then bitch, you should have said that. Shit. I pulled over, I'm like, damn, I should have been did this shit. And you know what was so crazy about this situation here, y'all? Her daddy killed her mother. And then the bad part about it, he wasn't even an abusive nigga like that. They got into a big argument about something. I don't know what it was about. But they got into a big argument. And she said, then she heard a shot. Blah! She heard the shot and it was quiet. She started knocking on the door. Do, 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 do. Ma! Daddy, open the door. He said, baby, call the police. And she said, huh? He said, call the police. She like, Daddy, what's wrong? He said, Daddy fucked up. He fucked up and touched that gun. Well, I be telling you people, do not let your emotions get you out of control, and please do not touch no weapon when you arguing with somebody that you really don't want to kill. You know, me and my brother had a little disagreement about that. You know, I had to tell him the same thing. You know, he had a habit when he be arguing with his girl, just to have his gun in his hand. You know, even when he argue with anybody, I say, bro, you should stop doing that shit, man. What? I said, you be holding your motherfucking gun while you trying to check a bitch, and then if she talk back, you getting madder and madder. You know, you stop doing that. You ain't finna shoot her, but then again, you get so mad, you might just do it. Put that damn thing down. Period. Like I told my grandkids, I'm like, man, listen, I don't want them playing with guns or none of that, but I said, man, you don't never point no gun at somebody you love, bro. I don't give a fuck if it's a BB gun. You don't point it at nobody you love, y'all. I done seen 3 or 4 incidents where a child get the gun and the first thing they do is aim that motherfucker at their mommy head. You know, it's one lady was a police officer in Chicago. She riding her child in the back seat. You know, guess she wasn't a real little baby. She may be 6 or 7, maybe. You know, so this lady got a legal firearm. She don't got it in the glove box though, so she had it, I guess, on the floor or under the seat. Somehow, when she stopped, hit brakes, and pulled off, it slid to the back seat. And the little girl grabbed the gun. And mommy driving on the expressway, y'all, put that damn gun to her head and pulled the trigger. Boom! Blew mommy fucking head off, y'all. That damn car flipped, and everything. And when they got her out and everything, found out the girl shot her mommy in the damn head. I'm like, damn. Then I seen another incident. This woman, she's a stay-at-home mom. She worked on computers and everything. So she sent her baby daddy to get a haircut. Sent him in the Uber. Now he got guns in the house, y'all. He got a gun in the book bag, y'all. Guess what kind of book bag it is? A Paw Patrol book bag. So it's really a child book bag. He ain't got the book bag up high where the boy can't reach it. It's on the floor in the room in his bedroom. Mommy owns a Zoom call with her people doing her work. The people watching her because it's a Zoom, right? And next thing you know, they heard, loud! And the sink the woman just bam. The gun so heavy, it boom! It kicked back and hit him in the motherfucking head, right? His head started, and then he started crying. What the fuck you crying for? You got a knot on your head. You think your head hurting. How you think mommy motherfucking head feel? Mommy gone. That got to be, man, some trauma you, man, really can't live with. Do y'all remember the situation in Jackson, Mississippi? Where the nigga got to arguing with his wife, right? He had been out fucking with some other hoe. And he come home. And him and his wife get to argue. And he like, man, I'm finna leave, man. I ain't finna stay here. They get to arguing really serious, right? He like, bitch, I hit you. First time I missed it, right? You know. And he like, bitch, I do. You go do what? Yeah, nigga, fight, nigga, fight. She pulled a gun out. That's what they call a gun down there. Fight. I got that fire on me, right? She said, yeah, fight, nigga. Yeah, fight, nigga. And she arguing with him, and he like, yeah, all right, well, I'm just finna leave, ooh. And then you heard her, blah! Then she hollering and screaming, oh my God, I'm sorry. It went off. Well, you shouldn't have had it in your motherfucking hand in the first place. If you weren't planning on shooting this nigga, you shouldn't have had it. Anyway, she ended up going to jail. I don't know how they did it, but they charged her with a manslaughter or whatever. But she killed that nigga and he gone. That's crazy, man. He killed that. She killed her baby daddy. And then had the nerve to be hollering and screaming his name while he laying there dying. Oh my God, Tony! Tony! Oh my God, Tony! No, Tony dead, bitch. You done shot Tony in the head. I done had little niggas catch murder cases, y'all, and then they want to call, is he dead, G? Yeah, he dead. Man, so what you saying, G? I got a body. Yeah, you got a murder. Damn, G. It ain't no attempt or nothing. He died already? Yeah, he dead already. Didn't they tell you they was charging you with murder when you went in there? Man, they said they go check and see. They really didn't say, yeah, you heard what you wanted to hear. You didn't hear shit. Nigga, you charged with murder, motherfucker. Yeah, the nigga died. You hit him in the head. Nothing I can do for you, bro. You know, give you a 2-3-way call, but hey, it is what it is, man. You know. But anyway, man, I'm gonna find something else, man. And, see what else going on, man. Cause P Diddy, man, just has done the most. Let me find something else for y'all, alright? Late night with the G Shrimp Show, man. I'm gonna start going live, y'all. Listen, that's what we gonna start doing, y'all. All the people that would like to go live with me or like to participate and just kick it on the live, leave it in the comment and we go set that up, right? So that means I'm gonna need some moderators and shit like that. Whoever wanna be there, I got one straight drops. I always got my man in Vegas. He one of the moderators. I mean, last time I had a couple people who was just doing it on the player side, like, you know, subscribe to this and that. You know, we go do that. And listen, we got to be like everybody else. Everybody else making money, shit, people go have to put them little dollars in, man. You know, everybody go have to support the channel, man, and let's get this shit going and we can make our little lives hot. I want to start doing it at night, though. I might even start doing, I see everybody be all turn up. I might start getting me some gin and juice and just drinking and talking shit. And I don't drink, but I can sip on something. And would you believe I was playing cards earlier today at 6 o'clock this morning. We had a little get together over here at the place where I be talking to people in the morning and we end up playing spades. They want to play cards, so I don't play cards, man. You know, I don't like playing cards. I never did nothing that they do in jail on the street. I don't never like playing cards. I don't like niggas arguing and talking shit unnecessarily, you know. Because I've been knocked the nigga out, nigga talking shit about a book, this, renege, this and that. So I be like, I just stay away from that shit. You know, I just stay away from that. But I said, I will play to keep the party going. If we need one more person, I will do that. I say, if I play cards with you or I drink with you, I fuck with you the long way because that's something that I don't do. So I told him, I said, all right, well, that means I fuck with some of y'all if I'm going to go ahead be the fourth man in the card game because I really don't like it. I really don't like it, but shit, we weren't playing two hands for out in there talking shit. I don't want to see no more, goddamn. I don't want to see no more of them motherfuckers, man. Where you going, from the bust your motherfucking head? Bust your motherfucking head, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Didn't I just say I ain't want to see more money? I said I ain't want to see no more of them, but you dollar bullshitting? You dollar bullshitting? Ain't that a diamond? I just said I don't want to see no more, nigga. I'm up there talking shit, man. They like, I thought you said you didn't know how to play. I ain't say I didn't know how to play. I said I don't like to play. You know, but it depends. If the environment good, you know, the people cool who I'm playing with, then I can enjoy a game like that. But you just don't feel everybody, you know. When you start playing, you might be playing with, I don't like this nigga, man. I really don't like this nigga. Nigga, you might be playing with cool, but I don't like this nigga here, man. I don't like his partner either. I don't like his partner either, you know. So I just try to stay away from shit that might pull me into something. You feel me? I'm out of here.